Patch number 3 of the Horizons update is right around the corner, and it is going to change some of the things, some of the items, and some of the skills that are less used in the current meta. And there is one change that I don't think anyone understands, and we're going to take a look at that a little bit later in this video. All right, there is also one thing that they are changing in these patch notes, and they are giving us explanations on why they're changing things. Okay, so this is for patch number 3. Let's start with the Arcane Staff. Arcane Staff, it says Frazzle is outshined by Enigma Blade on DPS Arcane builds, even in smaller scale group fights. We are increasing the burst damage to make it more competitive, even if allies don't take damage of the powerful damage amplifier component. Okay, so the Frazzle is the one that reduces damage. So it says, now reduces enemies' defense before dealing damage. So they're basically just making it like the carving sword, where it reduces defenses before damage. So it does have that increased overall effect once you deal damage on that Frazzle. I don't think this is going to be anything that will change the meta. They're saying like Enigma Blade is still better for like 1v1 because you do have that mobility, especially in the mist or in 1v1 corrupted dungeons. In smaller scale fights, Enigma Blade still has that higher DPS, but with the Frazzle, you can potentially now, like in a small scale fight, target the healer, Frazzle the healer. It deals more damage, and I can see it that way, but honestly, Enigma Blade, unless they increase the base damage on the Arcane Staff Frazzle, I don't think Enigma Blade is going to be outshined by Frazzle here. All right, moving on to Daggers. The Bridal Fury players have been struggling to find success in DVZs, so we are returning some Resilience Penetration to help Merciless Finish live up to its name. So Bridal Fury now just increased Resilience Penetration. So, you know, that's pretty good. ZVZs, so hopefully we'll see more Bridal Fury as the DPS is there. I'm not big on ZVZs, but I wonder if like 5% increase in Resilience Penetration is more than enough to make the weapon be like one of the best DPSs. I don't think so, but at least Bridal Fury players are a little bit happy. The Frost Staff, moving on to Frost Staff, Ice Storm hasn't been very popular, although it has high damage potential. We are reducing the travel distance to boost the area denial and threat, keeping chokes covered for longer. Ice Storm's cast and stand time are also being reduced to make it smoother to use. Okay, so the cast time is 0.5. This is the Ice Storm. This is like the Glacier. Okay, stand time is from 0.5 to 0.3. Travel distance is 18 meters to 12 meters. And they're slowing it down as well. So this is, as they said, keeping chokes covered for longer. Rather than making it travel longer, they're making it travel shorter, and it is going to be slower so that the chokes are just there. You can actually prevent players in ZVZ situations from pushing through. And it also says it has high damage potential. Alright, moving on to the Holy Staff. Smooth out the Sacred Pulse animation and stand time to feel better in both PvE and PvP. The stand time is from 0.5 to 0.3. That's it. If you remember last time, they did, I believe, increase the damage for Sacred Pulse for it to be better for PvE. Now they're just making it a little bit better with the stand time, no longer 0.5. That's actually very long for a stand time. It's now 0.3, minus 0.2 seconds. Is that going to be noticeable? I think so. It's a little bit, but not too much. The War Gloves. The counter in most contexts is outshined by the other War Gloves W. Extending the powerful defense buff should allow more flexibility for players to either disengage more safely or confidently follow up after a successful counter. So the counter on the gloves is now 75% buff duration still, up to 1.2 seconds to always 2. Ooh, always 2 seconds. All right, so if you don't know, the counter is the one where you do the counter stance. It increases your defenses, but once you recast the W that dashes towards the enemy, I think that cancels the defensives. But now it is always 2 seconds of 75% buff duration. 75% defense against all for 2 seconds, which is actually really insane. It also has a 100% reflect, by the way, on the counter gloves. So I can see this in Stalker Corrupted Dungeons being a thing. I don't know if it is going to be like more popular in the Mist, but for Corrupted Dungeons, I can definitely see this. 2 seconds of 75% defense is kind of insane. Okay, on the Earth Crusher, it says Raven Strikes have not been performing well in ZVZs despite recent buffs. Oh, really? One big downside is that the damage can be reflected, but the caster cannot cancel the channel once the ability has started. True. Therefore, we made the ability non-reflectable to make it less likely to die to demon armors in a ZVZ. Since this makes it significantly more valuable, we are reducing the damage a little bit. Oh, when they say a little bit, that is just a little bit. Ooh. Yo. This could actually be huge. No longer reflectable, the Raven Strike. And when they said a little bit, just really nothing. Really nothing to like the 2 seconds charge up. So yeah, I can see this in ZVZs now. Remember like when they released the Raven Strike or the War Gloves in general, there would be like multiple Raven Strike War Gloves in a ZVZ comp. So let's see if that comes back. The helmets. Currently, Royal Helmets is only used in niche one-shot combo builds. To incentivize tank and support using it, they're significantly reducing its cooldown. Okay, the Royal Helmet is now from 40 seconds to 30 seconds. Okay, cool. Okay, because it's saying it's one shot, you don't really need shorter cooldowns there. So by reducing it, it can be used for other content. I mean, I can see that. But I can also see it just being, you know, faster one-shots, two-shot combos, potentially. Going on to the armors, the dynamic defense is strong and popular in ZVZs as both an offensive and a defensive tool. Due to the prevalence of reflect, dynamic defense has been putting pressure on DPS players to strongly consider magic damage weapons only, as Jackets of Tenacity would do double duty as powerful defense versus enemy reflex. Oh, because of reflect is a magical damage, while simultaneously giving a damage boost that puts magic damage users close to cloth armor level damages, which they don't want because this is a leather. We're reducing the maximum damage potential but allowing players to choose the optimal defensive buff without losing access to the bonus damage. Okay, so the dynamic defense, 20% damage based on opponent's weapon is now 10% for all damage types, but the defense is still going to be there. Okay, so there's rebalancing this just a little bit. I wonder though, so they're nerfing the damage like based on the weapon thing. I wonder if this is enough for them to not use the dynamic defense. I don't see it though. Like 20%, yeah, 50% nerf. But in a ZVZ, that's minimal. Interesting. Alright, moving on to the shoes. Scholar Sandals fall short of their promise to be a complete mana solution. So their mana regeneration is significantly increased. Focus run of the Scholar Sandals, energy per tick is almost doubled. And the max, whoa. Okay. Oh, wow. So the focus run is one that I believe immunes you to slows as well. Scholar Sandals immunes you to slows. Let's see. Here we go. Immunes you to slows, roots, and stuns. And it will give you like a lot of energy now while your movement speed is increased by 70% while channeling. Oh, man. Okay. Alright, so this is usually used by healers in ZVZs if I'm not mistaken. But wow. They're just going to increase the energy like crazy. Okay. Now, can we see that in the Mist now? For builds that lack energy? They can just have this because this is 30 seconds cooldown. And if they're doubling the amount of energy that you get per usage, that's actually insane. Ooh, I'm interested more in 1v1 more than ZVZ, because in ZVZs you do sometimes have those chariots that replenish your energy, but in small scale as well, you're no longer going to worry about energy. And maybe even, can it replace, say, like the Limherscape? Have your healer be on, say, either Caerleon in a small scale situation, Caerleon Cape, or a Martlaw Cape, or a Brazilian Cape for more defense, and just have this as your sole energy solution? Interesting. And also, one interesting is mana solution. Wait, I don't think anything refers to it as mana. Everything is referred to as energy. But this is such a gamer though. It's mana, dude. It's not energy, it's mana. Okay, in the past, Demon Boots' run speed has been reduced to not work as guaranteed get out of jail card. However, since they are now pretty underused item, we believe that they deserve a cooldown. They deserve a cooldown aligned with the other sprints in their class. Ooh, 30 seconds now for the Vengeful Spirit. The cooldown on that. Ooh, that is interesting. But yeah, what they usually do here is they use it as an escape or like a chase. So this is where your life or your HP is super, super low to take full advantage of the Demon Boots. So I don't think this is going to do much, but I can see it in when you're trying to escape and you get caught. Or no, you're fighting in like a 1v1, you get caught, you use that to like run away. The next engage you will have it still. So that'd be interesting to see. Let's look at the potions. Underutilized potions have been given significant buffs to be more competitive with their alternatives. The Acid Potion on all tiers increased armor and magic resistance reduction by 50%. Okay, cool. Cleansing Potion adds 30% movement buff for the immunity duration if the CC or debuff is removed. Ooh, okay. Oh, so if you cleanse something, it gives you movement speed. 30%, not too much, but okay, cool. Hellfire Potion added 35% healing reduction for 3 seconds to all targets hit. Oh, okay. Increased true damage to players and mobs by 25%, but increasing the cooldown to 90 seconds. Okay, that's a good balance there. The 35 healing reduction for 3 seconds, though, that's kind of nice. Like, if you can do that in 2v2 Hellgates, 35% heal reduction is insane for 3 seconds. Ooh, but 90 seconds cooldown, though. Okay. Sticky Potion, increased damage reduction by 50%. Cool. Tornado in a Bottle, the radius is now 4 meters, and the cooldown is 60 seconds now. Minus 30 seconds of that. Okay. These are definitely underused. This, I think, is more... I wonder, though, if the cooldown... Because you can use the Hellfire Potion now. Let's look at the Hellfire Potion. The Hellfire Potion is the one that throws things on the ground. It increases true damage, right? It increases true damage. And now, they will add the healing reduction for 3 seconds. So even if you increase the cooldown from 60 to 90 seconds in 2v2 Hellgate specifically, you can just use that as like kill potential. Your healer bops the other healer, you focus on the DPS, 35% healing reduction plus added damage. The damage probably wouldn't be the one thing that makes this become a thing in 2v2 Hellgates, but the healing reduction will for 3 seconds is kind of nice. Okay, so this is one of the things that the quality of life improvements. Mend Wounds, all armors, no longer interrupts movement. On all spears, no longer interrupts movement. This does not make sense to me. So if you actually know what's going on, tell me in the comments. Mend Wounds is you can walk now with Mend Wounds. Now, one of the... Is he an SBI staff? One of the people that I asked said, they asked the developers what this means. They said that when you walk, when you click on a position and your character's walking, if you press mend wounds, it would interrupt movement. That was the thing that they were trying to fix. Now that they want to do is your character's moving, you press R, it will still continue moving without interruptions. Now I tried that, and let me show you right now. So this is mend wounds. They said that if you're moving, right, you're moving, and you press R, the thing that they're trying to fix is you would no longer be interrupted after you use the skill, but it doesn't interrupt it. So that is something that I don't understand, and they asked the developers about it, and it's not the thing that they said, which is weird. So we are going to see if they just like get rid of this as the quality of life improvements. But that is it for the updates. Not a lot of changes for like solo and 2v2. It's mostly about ZVZ, like this ZVZ, this ZVZ, and this ZVZ, this small scale. Not a lot for 1v1 or 2v2, but more about the ZVZs and some quality of life updates. It's a small patch, and it will change some things in ZVZ. Not much for 1v1, 2v2. But let me know what do you think in the comment section below. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you okay? Let me know.